All right, going long on NASDAQ here. Not the greatest entry. I should have been a little bit more patient and waited. You'll see in a second we trade back to that fair value gap. This is during the 750 and 810 macro. I'm targeting here a, if you take the daily range of February 4th and you take a fib and you layer quadrants over that entire daily candle, I'm targeting the consequent encroachment of that day. So the 50% level of that day, and it actually falls right below the, I believe that's the new week opening gap high that we formed on Sunday. So I think of that as a perfect terminus. Also on the 15 minute, there's a set of highs that I think could be a potential draw. But I'm only trading with one contract because I kind of went on tilt the last couple of days. I had 3 straight losing days of max loss days on my evals. So I broke my rules. So when that happens, I have to lower my leverage and drop down. So if I'm trading primarily with 2 contracts, I have to drop to 1 contract. And so yeah, I'm gonna have to do that to get my equity curve back in line, and that's no problem. I'm just gonna accept the time that's required to do so. But yeah, so kind of the logic behind this trade, we had traded down throughout Asia and London, and we have a 4-hour fair value gap that price is respecting, or price was respecting prior to my entry. So leading up to the 758.10 macro, I'm looking for a PD array that I can potentially enter off of. So I extended this fair value gap that formed around, I would say, 710. I extended that forward. Looking at the 5 minute, we also have a fair value gap, a 5 minute fair value gap that price wicked into, failed to close below its consequent encroachment. Might look at that and see that as bullish. I don't have it marked out just because I figured that it would make the chart a little messy. But yeah, we also have a very, very small 15 minute fair value gap that price had respected. But I'm focused, for the 15 minute, I'm mostly focused on those relative equal highs that I have labeled in the top left corner at buy side liquidity. I'm thinking of that as a potential draw, as what's going to draw price to it. But because I'm only trading 1 contract, and because I need to find low-hanging fruit objectives, I really like that half point on the February 4th daily candle. I think that is a good draw, a good terminus. If I was trading with 2 contracts or more, I would maybe use that as a partial and look to hold that trade, maybe see if we can reach those 15 minute relative equal highs. But because I'm in drawdown protocol, I'm going to follow my rules and just work with 1 micro contract for the next couple of days or week until I could build at least to, if I can make up 75% of what I lost those 3 days, then I'll look to possibly enter with 2 contracts, as long as price action looks good, and as long as I'm psychologically, ready to handle more leverage. But the goal is to not rush these eval accounts. And I do have to admit, I got a little excited. I had a 5-day winning streak, so I got a little bit more aggressive than I should have, and it resulted in 3 max loss days. So I also added an eval account to my to the ones that I'm trading. So I was trading 3, now I'm trading 4. See right here, we trade back into that fair value gap. So that would have been a nice entry if I would have had a limit order, or if I would have been a little bit more patient. But yeah, so I added an eval account, and now we have $100,000 worth of, prop firm fake equity. But the goal is to pass these and, look to not hit home runs out of these accounts. I want to build them up, build a buffer on them, and, get a payout. But I don't want to do it by necessarily increasing my risk and my leverage. I've seen examples of other traders trading with 1 micro, and because they have 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts, they're able to keep their risk relatively low and not have to do and e-mini contracts. They're trading with 2, 3 micros. There's a couple guys trading with 1 micro, and they're taking base hits. They're taking $30 trades, $40 trades, maybe taking a partial, then getting stopped out. But hey, they have $30 across 20 accounts. So that's kind of my ultimate goal with these evals. I also want to prove to myself that I can manage larger amounts of money, because maybe this is the route for me. So maybe I don't necessarily need to have, maybe I don't need to trade e-mini contracts. Maybe I can stick with micros. I do well with micros, and I don't know if I do well with micros because that's just where I'm at currently, or if that's where my stomping ground is, if that's where I excel in the most, then you can make a career out of micros. So I'm just gonna keep going forward with this, and see how it plays out. But I've been getting better, so that's all that matters. We're just trying to improve each and every day, 1%, learn something new, learn from our mistakes. So, all right, so we get strong displacement out of that 1 minute fair value gap. I really like that. We're now flirting with the new week opening gap below that we had formed last night. Excuse me. And I like how we're not coming back to that 4-hour. Price is displacing aggressive to the upside, right in the middle, in the heart of that macro. I like it so far. I adjust my risk just a little bit to the bottom of that 1 minute fair value gap. I'm looking at on the 15, we have a SIBI, a 15-minute SIBI that I am keeping an eye on. I would like us to close above it, use it as support. So again, I'm not labeling it because it's just it would be just too much going on my chart. My charts already have enough going on. So, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Also on the 1 minute and 5 minute, we have fair value gaps that I want price to remain, or to keep open, not trade back to or close in. It is permissible, but I don't want it to do so. Nice strong displacement here, reaching a older new date opening gap. I believe that's February 5th. this point, I'm just measuring to see where I'm at. I'm seeing that we're pretty much at the halfway mark between my inception and terminus. So I'm going to follow my rules and remove risk. And especially with like one contract, here it would be a nice place for a partial. But I've done that in the past. I've taken a partial off at the halfway mark between my entry and terminus. But because I'm trading with one contract, and everything looks healthy on the higher time frames, the 15 and the 5, I have confidence in this trade. So at the very least, I have to follow my rules and move my stop to break even, and just accept that if price was to somehow fail and move against me, I get stopped out and I leave with nothing. I pay my entry fee, but it's a paper cut. I'm not blowing my account. I'm not risking enormous amount of capital. So here, I like this displacement on the 15 minute where we're pushing higher than that SIBI, failing to close in it or retrace back into it. That's really healthy. I like that. Yeah, and so I'm just hoping that 5 minute looks good. I mark out a 5 minute fair value gap. Again, price can trade back to it, but I rather, especially where we're at right now in the trade, where I would say we're close to like 10, 12 handles away from the terminus. I don't want to see it trade back to it. So I move my stop to below there's a wick below the 5 minute. Eventually I move it to the bottom of the 5 minute fair value gap. But that's my line in the sand. I don't want to see price return to there, because if that's the case, then there's a good chance that the trade idea needs to be aborted, or it just didn't play out in my favor. Strong displacement here. Again, everything looks healthy. Just my stop up. And I want to see price just continue to spool up to that buy side. Again, I think the bigger draw are those 15-minute relative equal highs, but the more logical place for a terminus for me is that 50% level coinciding with the new week opening gap. Those quadrants, if you put them on the daily, price reacts to them. So it's just something I'm trying to do more of. As long as I know if I have an idea of the bias of where we're going, and let's say we're trading up into a previous daily candle, I'm gonna place those quadrants on there. I'm gonna see how price reacts. They're great, areas for taking partials or for a potential terminus. So it's just something I've been implementing, and it's been working in my favor. Price looks really good. We have a 5 minute that forms, but we're about to take our limit here. Yep, and that's it. That's all she wrote.